What's going on, everybody? LK here, back at it again with another video, and today some more Dragon Ball Fighters for y'all. So, like I mentioned before, we're still kind of in tier list season, so I want to talk about a couple of characters that are being pretty hyped recently, and one of the biggest ones is definitely Android 21. If you have a quick sec, if you've been liking the content, the guides, the match analysis, and all the other things I've been putting out, definitely subscribe to the channel. Like this video, it does help the channel grow, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. So 21 is being pretty debated right now, and the debate is whether or not she's a true top tier character or not. The interesting thing is that longtime players of her they have a lot of mixed opinions, from the legendary Leffen saying she's trash to Nokami saying she's like overrated. But now there's some people now, including Sonic Fox, who are saying she's a clear top tier character. Sonic Fox goes all the way and says she's the best character in the game. Why are people so interested in this character, and why do they think she's so strong? So I'm going to break down a couple of really important points about this character. So the place we must start is normal. So she's always had this really huge JM, and now they've buffed her 5M so that she advances. So now she has a really good neutral game with her M moves. She, similar to Kid Buu, has stomps. She doesn't have as much control over her stomps as he does. She only has 2. She only has a far and a close one. And while it's not as fast as Kid Buu's, it still functions in a very similar way to him. Although she has an airborne 2H, it reaches extremely high in the air, and she has good air options after it. So one thing she's been really good at for a long time is her general approach to neutral. So for example, she has this move. This is her 2S. So as you can see, it is extremely advantageous, and it has an angle really similar to Vegito's 236S, but it's with a button. So one of the powerful things about a move like that is that it doesn't let characters set things up or get started. So a character like Ginyu, this is a long time terrible matchup for Ginyu, because he cannot set up the Ginyu force at all. When she does this move. Ginyu and summoning characters in general, there's not really a lot in this game. It's basically just Ginyu and Nappa. Maybe characters like Janemba, you can say like the orb they put out is like a summoning style move. But essentially, they put something on the screen independently of themselves, and then they can act. Calling Raccoon Beam here is a really good example of that. But when she does 2S, you basically just never have time to do it, so you're forced to take a risk by super dashing. Ginyu has really, really shitty normals, to be honest. There's no better way of putting it. And of course, as we mentioned, she has a giant tail that hits you from half the screen. Not half the screen, but it's a really, really huge normal that's really hard to deal with. Things like this combined with full screen assists allows for really strong neutral control. She's also decently mobile. So she doesn't really have good ways of stalling in the air. She does have like JS, that's whatever, since you can super dash it. But on her own, she has a good way of going from the air to the ground, which is really important. And outside of 2S, she has Fireball and an up Fireball that could help control the screen, especially combined with assists. The medium version of her Fireball was so good that they had to nerf it to make sure that the frame data was consistent. Before, this was heavily advantageous, and she used to be able to just approach pretty casually from full screen. So her normals are good, and her zoning is good. Another reason people are so high for her is her DHC level 3. So her DHC level 3 is this. So it does essentially 2 things. One, you have enough frame advantage to do a left-right mix-up with super jump air dash. I don't have these right now, but it can be done. And another thing that it does is that you get all the steals from it automatically now. It was not like this originally when the game came out. So whatever character you do the super to, you get their steals. So this is a big deal for 2 reasons. One, the steals are generally powerful. So purple gives you this slow orb that's like Piccolo, and a teleport that goes behind you. That's a frame 4 reversal. Blues give you a beam and solar flare. Solar flare specifically being a head invul move. Yellow is an interesting one where you get this command grab and you get the Vegeta multi-key blast. This command grab specifically will go back to a little bit later. And finally, the greens give you barriers like Android 18 and Android 17, and the other version is a combo extender. So she gets pretty unique tools from this, and it depends on what character you do them to, of course. But also, because you get all the steals right away, you get access to her max level orb, which is a whopping plus 20 on block. This is a huge deal. For example, if you have an assist available for whatever reason, Cell's 30 frame block stun, the EX Fireball is 16 frames, so there's not really a way to get it airtight off normals. You have to guess, but it's only like a 1 frame gap. So with good timing, you can get an airtight super jump fast fall 50-50, which is really, really strong. And depending on what character you steal, you can get this tricky Dragon Rush situation that leads into a reset with the command grab. It's pretty difficult for characters to deal with this. If your opponent doesn't have a response at all, you're going to hit them. If they have resources, or if they have characters who have invincible air level 3s and stuff like that, they can get out. But it definitely puts the onus on your opponent to have something ready for this. It's a really strong situation. So essentially, it's like you could DHC into her level 3, 50-50 them. If they defend it, either you have get a Dragon Rush type of situation, reset with the yellow steals, or you can try to cash out with an assist. It's a special type of mix-up that you would not normally get. It's a really, really strong offense and generally sets up for 2 touches. So with these 2 things in mind, it puts her in a pretty interesting situation as a support character. She can basically play in any position because her neutral is really good, but her DHC level 3 is really strong. So the general opinion from before Android 21 is that a lot of people would play Android 21, say on point, combined with 2 neutral assists, so that you'd be able to do neutral structures like this, control the neutral, get in and do what she has to do, right? But now the new way of playing her is that you'll play some other character on point, get a hit with them, somehow DHC to her level 3, and go for like this style of win condition. Her assists are also quite good for support in general. She has a beam like, which we all know is pretty good at this point. It's fast, 25 frame block stun, so it's fine. It's around average. If you want a beam, you don't need a beam if you're playing her. And she also has a relatively powerful C assist, a combination of 2 normals from her, and it hits quite high in the air. It also is 50 frame block stun, so you get a lot of time to do a mix up with it. How do I feel personally? I think I said that I thought, I think she's a very strong character. Like, you'd have to do some really heavy persuasion to get me to think that she's a top 3, top 5 type of character. But she's a very strong character that can help a lot of teams. Having a strong level 3 like hers is really, really important in the game right now. And again, you do get a straight up 50-50. You basically will force out a spark out of somebody if you do it, so it's quite strong. Even late game, she's quite good. She can control the screen quite well with 2S. If she gets steal, she gets to be more buff, has more options. Of course, again, it depends on the character. She has an amazing conditioning game around Dragon Rush because this reaches no matter how close you are to the opponent. It's quite fast. And she has a relatively fast command grab to try to grab people and you get a steal from it. So overall, in my opinion, she does have a pretty complete tool set. So right now in my region, specifically the Northeast US, she is really, really, really popular because Sonic is playing her right now and Sage is playing her right now too. I think that whole apartment might be playing her right now, so people are kind of high on her right now. I've always thought this character is really strong, but how strong that people have felt that she is has always been kind of all over the place in this game. Having a character with a level 3 as strong as hers definitely makes your team more stable. If you're going to be like, well, LK, why don't you play her, besides the fact that I should play her because this is my style of character in every single way. On my team, I have both a character that has a level 3, that's his level 1, Ghost, right? And Broly, of course, has a 50-50, a mega powerful 50-50 actually off his level 3. So I'm pretty good as far as knockdown. You probably want one character with a super strong level 3 if possible. There's a bunch of things you could do to your team to like strengthen it. Like one of the easy things is adding a character with a strong level 3. So she's definitely a good consideration if you want to do that. Hopefully that made sense though. If you have any questions, feel free to leave that in the comment section below. We'll see how people feel about her. Like I said, people do kind of hotly debate how strong she is. Longtime players of 21 think that people overrate her, but then people who look at her and like, look at all these tools, she's broken. So we'll see how she lasts in the long run, especially because like there's no offline right now. As usual, like and subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.